Picking up right where we left off from hour one on this final leg of the journey, rolling from New Tazewell, Tennessee, all the way to the customer in Montgomery, New York. If you're just tuning in, I had just finished passing a cluster of slow-moving trucks on an uphill grade and slid back into the right lane. If you haven't watched the previous video in this mini-series, I strongly recommend pausing this one and catching up, because everything happening right now makes more sense once you see how we got here. What I aim to give you on this channel is simple, an exclusive, raw, unfiltered front seat view of my daily drive. You see what I see. You experience the road as it unfolds. No edits to soften it, no filters to dress it up. Just real miles, real decisions, real consequences. For those of you who are new here, welcome to Gallavantor Caravan. My name is Jay, the Gallavantor. I've been over the road for more than a decade now, and I appreciate every single one of you who rides along with me. All right, hour two. Let's get into it. We're climbing again here, approaching exit 112 on Route 25 toward Hagens, Pennsylvania. This stretch sits right at the edge of Schuylkill County coal country, old Appalachian terrain that doesn't forgive weak engines or bad decisions. This area right here around Hagens sits in the heart of Schuylkill County, and it's old coal country. These hills weren't shaped by traffic. They were carved out by mining, railroads, and hard labor. That's why the grades feel relentless. Back in the day, coal moved this entire region, and even now the roads still reflect that era. Tight curves, uneven climbs, and infrastructure built long before modern traffic volumes existed. If a truck struggles here, it's not bad luck. It's history reminding you who built this place. I've got a camper holding me up right now, and this is where the mental checklist kicks in. Is the passing lane clear? Do I have enough momentum to complete the pass without killing my speed? What's waiting for me after the vehicle I'm trying to pass? That's the part most people don't think about. Passing isn't just about what's beside you, it's about what's ahead of you. Traffic starts bunching up here, cars stacking, everyone impatient. So I wait, no rush. Patience saves fuel, brakes, and stress. And just like that, I don't even need to pass. Camper exits, perfect. But then, here comes this guy in the truck. You know the type, no urgency, no awareness, just occupying space like the road owes him something. I can already see more slow movers up ahead. New plan locked in, I'll deal with them when I catch them. No emotion, just execution. Approaching exit 116, Route 901, pointing toward Minersville, Mount Carmel, and Shamokin. This is deep anthracite coal territory. These hills built railroads, powered steel mills, and still test trucks to this day. Route 901 runs through towns that were literally built to feed coal breakers and power plants. Shamokin, especially, was once one of the most important anthracite coal hubs in the country. When you drive through here, you're rolling through towns that boomed fast and declined just as hard. That's why you'll see older buildings, narrower roads, and stretches that feel frozen in time. These towns know what it means to work hard and what it feels like when the work disappears. You'll often see trucker alerts pop up through here, and for good reason. Long grades, heavy loads, and equipment failures aren't uncommon in this region. This terrain doesn't care how new your truck is, it only respects horsepower, maintenance, and discipline. Coming up on exit 119 toward Gordon and Hexterville, just outside Ashland, Pennsylvania. This whole area used to sit on top of some of the richest coal seams in the country. Ashland is one of those towns that carries quiet weight. It's surrounded by strip-mined land and reclaimed hills, and if you look closely, you can still see scars in the landscape. This is the kind of place where entire generations work the same dangerous jobs underground. It gives the area a certain seriousness. No flash, no rush, just endurance. The land still shows it. Rolling grades, uneven cuts, and infrastructure built long before modern traffic volumes existed. You feel it in the steering wheel. You feel it in the engine load. Approaching exit 124AB, Route 61, serving St. Clair, Frackville, Pottsville, and Shenandoah. Route 61 is a major artery through Pennsylvania's coal belt. Frackville and Shenandoah were once packed with immigrant families brought here for mining. Polish, Lithuanian, Irish, Italian. That mix built tight-knit communities, but also tough living conditions. When you drive this stretch, you're on a road that once carried coal, steel, and survival. If you know Pennsylvania trucking, you know Route 61 is a spine, industrial, unforgiving, and always busy. This is another area where trucks get tested. And right on cue, one of my fellow drivers hits that breakdown snag. Not surprised at all. These grades will expose weakness fast, driver or machine. And then comes the irony. A small car towing a U-Haul blows past both of us like it's nothing. That's a reminder right there. Power doesn't always look the way you expect it to. Never write off the small guy. You'll notice those white warning signs up ahead. That's a correctional facility nearby. No stopping, no hitchhikers, no exceptions unless it's an emergency. We've all seen the movies, prison breaks, hijackings, hitchhiker horror stories. Hollywood exaggerates, but the rule exists for a reason. Some warnings don't need explanation, they just need respect. Heading up to exit 131AB Route 54 toward hometown Mahanoy City and Tamaqua near Locust Lake State Park, Route 54 connects towns that still feel rural but carry industrial roots. Tamaqua especially has been reinventing itself, trying to shift from old coal dependency into tourism and small business. That push is why you see parks like Locust Lake nearby. It's an example of a town trying to rewrite its future without forgetting where it came from. I've got to pass this truck ahead of me. Slow, weaving, distracted. That's a danger signal. Watch how he drifts toward the center line as cars pass. I want no part of that.
Then you have magic.
Approaching exit 134 to Delano. Delano is small, but it sits right along major freight corridors. Places like this exist because trucks exist. They're quiet towns that feel every ripple of highway traffic without always benefiting from it. That's why lane discipline matters so much here. Mistakes don't just affect drivers, they affect communities. Now watch this closely. A truck passes me and then doesn't get back over. That opens the door for a small car to pass on the right, straight through the blind spot. That's how crashes happen. I understand the urge to pass, but passing on the right as a small vehicle is gambling with your life. If I did that, I'd have horn, high beams, and presence on my side. I'm visible. That car? Invisible. Luckily, this driver waits until the car clears. That decision alone probably saves somebody's day. Now we're approaching exit 138 on Route 309 to McAdoo and Tamaqua. Tamaqua means running water in Native American language, named after the stream flowing through town. Route 309 has always been a lifeline through this region. Before interstates, this was the north-south connector. Towns like Tamaqua survived because of roads like this. That's why the name Tamaqua, meaning running water, fits. It was a place people passed through, settled near, and relied on. That kind of history sticks with me. Every exit has a story, if you pay attention. And speaking of stories, I never planned on being an over-the-road driver. Like most millennials, I bounced around college, retail, tech support, healthcare, delivery work, always had a main job and a backup, because I believed in that old rule, never put all your eggs in one basket. Trucking was supposed to be the backup until 2017, when the main plan collapsed. Suddenly, the backup became the lifeline, and I realized I was in my 30s with years of work behind me, but nothing solid ahead of me, so I dropped some dreams to chase bigger ones. If you've ever had to turn a backup plan into your main road, drop a comment. I know I'm not the only one. Rolling past exit 141, Route 424-309, then exit 143 on Route 924, and exit 145 toward West Hazleton and Conyngham. This is the Hazleton Logistics Corridor. Warehouses, distribution centers, non-stop freight movement. If you've ordered something online, chances are it passed through here. Route 924 feeds directly into industrial parks and distribution centers. It's designed for trucks more than people. If you ever wondered why traffic behaves differently here, that's why this road exists, to move freight efficiently, not comfortably. West Hazleton and Conyngham sit right at the edge of urban and rural Pennsylvania. You'll see farms, warehouses, and suburbs all overlapping. It's one of those transition zones where the pace of life visibly changes mile by mile. Hazleton is one of the biggest logistics hubs in northeastern Pennsylvania. Warehouses exploded here because land was cheap, highways intersect, and labor was available. This area quietly keeps a massive chunk of the Northeast supplied. A lot of people don't realize how much freight funnels through this town every single day. This area keeps the supply chain breathing. As you can see, we're on a steep downgrade, and like I've mentioned before, I always keep the Jake brake or engine brake on to help rein in the truck's speed. You always want to be in control of your vehicle, and to do that well, you have to control your speed. It's simple. The faster you go, the less control you have. That ties back to what I said earlier about responsibility and control. I ask myself this a lot, and maybe you should too. Are you really in control of your life? Who's actually steering the wheel? Are you choosing the route or just following the map somebody else handed you? Because it's easy to believe we're driving when really we're just obeying directions we never even questioned. Think about it. How often is your day already decided before you even open your eyes? The truth is, you just need to grab the wheel now and be in control. I remember when I first started this job, I was nervous to leave my other work behind and step into the unknown, but then I thought about a quote I once read: "There is no growth in the comfort zone." That's when I knew this was it, and I never looked back. A wise man once said, "Direction isn't about the road, it's about the decision." You don't need permission, you just need to choose where you go next. The road is open, the keys are in your hand, and the only question left is, who's driving? Because at the end of the day, we're all out here holding a wheel, and the choice of where it turns is always ours. Coming up to the I-81 Wilkes-Barre I-80 Stroudsburg-Bloomberg Junction. As I proceed on I-81, I'm aware that this area is notorious for steep climbs, merging traffic, slow trucks stacking up. So I got to sharpen my focus. now. As you can see, the beautiful valley views opening up near exit 155 to Dorrance. Dorrance is small, elevated, and quiet. It's one of those places where people live above the valley chaos. That's why the view opens up here. It's literally higher ground. Towns like this exist for people who want space, separation, and a slower rhythm. Moments like this remind me why I keep doing this. Approaching exit 159, New Angola Road, Mountaintop. Still not sure how everyone pronounces it. New Angola, New Angola. Drop it in the comments if you know. And that brings me back to choices. How many decisions do we make because we want to versus because we have to? Somewhere along the way, duty replaced desire. Maybe it's time to ask, what would choosing look like again?
Sorry, I was like, what is he trying to do?
Cruising a downhill safety corridor, speed limit drops, police presence is real here and they don't play. Coming up on exit 164 toward Nanticoke and Sugar Notch, old industrial towns shaped by coal and rail. Nanticoke and Sugar Notch were built on coal and rail. Sugar Notch, in particular, used to be a patch town company housing for miners. These places remind you that entire towns once existed for a single purpose. When that purpose vanished, the towns had to figure out what they were without it. As we come up on the Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania exit, we're met with construction signs. My rule for construction zones is simple. Follow the posted speed and follow the posted signs. Every so often you'll see instructions specifically for trucks, like trucks right lane only or trucks left lane only. Over the years, I've learned that those aren't there to annoy us. Ignoring them is a ticketable offense, and the fines are always higher in work zones. On top of that, the lane you're told not to use might be narrow, uneven, or dangerous, making it easier for a load to shift or even roll over. What puzzles me is how many passenger car drivers get upset when we're directed into a lane they think belongs to them. Maybe they don't like it, maybe they don't read the signs. Either way, you can be mad all you want. I'm just following the rules. For professional drivers, reading every sign is not optional. Once it becomes a habit, you're not only keeping yourself safe, but also putting yourself in the best position to make smart decisions instead of scrambling with last-second reactions. That's how you keep control. You have choices and options, not just knee-jerk responses. And that makes me think, how often do we live our lives the same way, stuck in reaction mode? Do your days feel like they're designed, or do they just happen to you? As we get older, reacting becomes routine. Wake, work, repeat, until life isn't really yours anymore. It's just a chain of responses to expectations, bills, and noise. At some point, you've got to set your own ground rules. Your life shouldn't just be a response, it should be a declaration. Maybe today isn't about fixing everything, maybe it's just about asking one bold question. What do I want, and what would it take to choose it? Because reacting might keep you safe, but choosing, that's how you actually start living. And I don't think I'm the only one who would rather hold the wheel than just get dragged along the road. Approaching exit 168, Highland Park Boulevard, Wilkes-Barre. Wilkes-Barre has always been a crossroads: coal, rail, highways, commerce. It's a place shaped by movement. Ending hour 2 here feels right because everything converges in this valley: roads, decisions, and momentum. That brings us to the end of hour 2. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. Like, share, comment. Your support keeps us on the road rolling. I'll catch you in hour 3.